Next book is Salvage the Bones by Jesmyn Ward. If you remember in my June video, I read her other book, Men We Read, which is a memoir. This one is a fiction. This is about Esh. Is that how you say her name? Esh family. She lost her mom when her mom was giving birth to their youngest brother, and then her father, who was preparing their house because Hurricane Katrina is reportedly like coming in. Also about uh Junior, kind of. Junior is the youngest. He's like 6 years old or something. He kind of doesn't like have a plot or a story. Aside from that, he misses his mom, their mom, because he did not have the chance to grow up with her or like meet her. And then Kiskita, who has a pit bull named China, and just gave birth to puppies. But her puppies are like slowly dying, and Skita thinks that it's because of parvo. And then Randall. Randall is the oldest child who dreams to become who wants to become a basketball player, or who wanted to be able to go to college through scholarship through playing basketball. And Esh's story is that she found out that she's pregnant. She's only like 16. All of them have their own things going on, their own struggles. I think the book is a metaphor for a mother, for motherhood. Because aside from like Ash being now pregnant, for me, the family, the kids are almost a little lost because they don't have a mother. Randall, the oldest, and Ash became kind of like Junior's stand-in mother. They're the ones who like took care of him. And then China, Skita's pit bull, who just gave birth, of course, another like mother figure. She is like, how do I explain this? When I was reading it, it made me think like how women, how mothers, even after like giving birth, are like expected to start like working. Even though it's not like working, going to work, it's like taking care of the children, which is like, I guess, yes, but at the same time, there is also a father. So the father is a shared, what do you call this? Is a shared responsibility. And then at the same time, her body is like, she's trying to like heal her body. A mother is trying to heal her body after like 9 months of being pregnant, and then like giving birth. But at the same time, she is also like taking of another human being. Next book is the Mexican Gothic. I've been seeing this in the public library where I borrowed my books like for 2 months now, ever since I got my card with them. And I didn't know that it was a kind of like a popular book in Book Talk, and I saw some people who are reading this and then liking it, and I thought, okay, fine, maybe I should finally like borrow it. This is a from the story. It's from the title itself. It's a Gothic book. It's supposed to be like a horror book. This is my first encounter with Gothic literature, or like Gothic horror, thriller, suspense literature, and I am sad to say that it is kind of disappointing. I don't know if I will be discouraged. At first I thought like, oh, is this like what Gothic literature is? And it kind of made me feel discouraged to read more Gothic literatures. But I realized, of course, that not everyone writes the same way. Not all books are the same. So I will be looking for hopefully better ones, or like good ones. I'm so sorry. The story is about Naomi. In the Philippines, we say Naomi. I don't know if it's the same with Mexican or like Spanish. If it's also Naomi. So Naomi was like tasked to go and see her cousin Catalina, who just got married and is now living in like a castle in a palace. So she wrote a letter to Naomi's father and telling him that there she can hear like voices on the walls. They're going to like kill me. They're like poisoning me, something like that. And Naomi's father wanted to like find out like what really is happening there. And so he made a deal with Naomi, and so Naomi like decided, yeah, I will go there and like see and like persuade them. I have to like win this deal so that I will her part was of the deal was like I have to like be able to like take my cousin out there, my cousin Catalina out there, so that I will be able to win the deal. I thought at first like, is this like a vampire, or did Catalina ended up like marrying a vampire? Because there was an old man also in the story, Catalina's husband's father, Catalina's father-in-law. But it isn't. It's something to do with the house, but not really. Like, this is what like confuses me. They say it's like about the house, but at the same time it is not. It is something that grows in the house. And then later on in the ending, the father-in-law also did something to a woman where the thing that grows in, or like is connected in. So that is a little, so that's making me a little confused. Or maybe I did not understand the book, but at the same time, I feel like I did. I think I did, because I also checked some Reddit like reviews. But anyways, I did not like that book. Because I did not like it, I don't recommend it to anyone. But if you want to read it because you like the author, yeah, you can. The next one is I Hope This Finds You Well. I read it from my Kindle, and from the title itself, you can, I guess, you can get the idea that this novel is kind of like, what do you call this? Like about office, about corporate, about working in an office kind of, novel. The main character, Jolene, she responds to emails in the office, right? And like as how we usually do, or like how like corporate workers do. But in her in her emails, she would add like, why do you hate your job so much that you like pour it on me, or like, what do you call that, direct it on me, something like that, things like those. And she had a habit of like adding that, but the thing is she hides it in like white text. So she will highlight the text and then make it into white, and because it's in white, it's like camouflage on like the email. But one time she forgot to change it into white, and so the person who received that email read it, saw it, and then reported her to HR. Now she was called to a meeting with like her boss and the HR, the new HR, and like showed it to her. And she thought she was like going to get fired, because this at that same time there are also like layoffs that are happening, and she thought like, oh, maybe it's this is like the reason I will be like laid off. But she was given another chance, although they said that they're going to like install something in her computer, in her work computer, where the IT company, I mean the IT department, or like the HR department, will be able to like see her activities, so like her emails, like the website she goes to, things like that. So she will be monitored through her work computer. But the thing is, there was kind of like a glitch, and instead she was given an access to everybody's email, not just her department's email. She can see the HR's email. She can see the finance uh, department email. So she can see everything. And so she decided to use it to her advantage. She is like an introverted, I would say, person, and so I guess she doesn't mingle with others, and for others they thought it's kind of weird, or she's weird, because I guess they don't understand her, they don't understand each other. And so she decided that she's going to use it to her advantage, to learn more about them, get on their good side. I want to tell you, I want to advise you that the book is written, or its intention is to be humorous, because I can see, again, I checked on Reddit, and I can understand why some people thought Jolene, the main character, is kind of a mean person, because I can see that if you won't look at the book as a humorous book, or a comedy book, I don't know what's the genre for this, comedy, if you don't have, I guess, the idea that it is a humorous book, she can come across as someone who's being just mean to other person, to her coworkers. A coin has two sides, right? Or wait, is this, am I going to use the idiom correctly? So she doesn't understand, she is not understood by her coworkers, but at the same time she also doesn't understand where her coworkers are coming from. It can be a little preachy, because then you will understand now, if you're working in corporate and then you read that, and then you, I guess, understood or realize that oh, so yeah, not all of us know what everyone is going through. So I guess I'll be a little more understanding. What I like about this book as well is, although it might be a little, it can be realistic or unrealistic, because the HR really tried to help the employees, to help them work on their characteristics. Am I saying it correctly? To improve yourself as a person, and not just a worker. Okay, now let's move on to these physical books. The first that I read from that new pile is Jackal by Erin D. Adams. I think this is also her debut novel. I really do wanted to like this book. One of the reasons also because of the message of the book. The overall message of the book is that girls or women of color, whenever they go missing, no one tries hard enough to look for them and find them, really find them and bring them alive. So that is kind of the message of the novel. The story is about Liz, who had a traumatic experience when she was a teenager, and once she was able to get out of her hometown, she thought that she will never come back. Aside from Liz's traumatic experience, her hometown has also a history of missing girls. The girls, on the first day of summer, black girls goes missing. So she went back to her hometown because her best friend is getting married. Her best friend has a child who's black, half white, because the father of the child is black. And their wedding is happening near the woods. So it's a wedding. So it's there's an after party, and her best friend's daughter, Caroline, she went near the woods, on the edge of the woods, between the party and the woods, and she was playing. Liz was looking after her. She's the one who was, I guess, tasked to look after Caroline. And then she told Caroline that, oh, just play near like don't go into the woods, okay? Like play where I can see you. And then she just has to like get drinks or something. And so she did, and then she got distracted, and when she went back, Caroline is not there. And so she kind of like start panicking. So she tried to like look for her around the vicinity, inside the like rooms in the barn. Like it happened in a barn or something. The wedding was in a barn, and she can't find her. And so she decided to like face her fear of the woods, and so she went in the woods, and then she found a fabric that looks like Caroline's dress, and it was like soaked in, it was bloodied. And so she panicked and decided that, okay, I needed help. I needed to tell my best friend Mel about what happened. And so she went to her best friend, and then they started looking for her. I had like three suspects. I had like a strong feeling about the two suspects, but it ended up being the least one. And this is a spoiler. At the same time, there is also a human who is working with the creature. So it kind of like took away the horror part for me. I think the horror in this book is not the book, but the reality where it's becoming like common, where girls or anyone goes missing, and sadly a lot of them are not found. The next book is The Emperor of Gladness by Ocean Vuong. This is a story of Hai, a Vietnamese boy who is depressed and was on planning of taking his own life and jumping off a bridge. And fortunately, an old Lithuanian woman saw him and stopped him from doing that. The old woman's name is Grazina. She has dementia. Their friendship, or I guess their journey, will start from that. Hai cannot return back to his mom. So when Grazina offered him to live with her as her kind of caretaker, Hai accepted it. And so they are living together. At the beginning, they are kind of like relying on Grazina's, what do you call it? It's not like pension, but it's like help, like monetary or like food aid or something. But because it's not like enough for them, Hai decided to apply and work in a restaurant. And then from working in that, what do you call this, restaurant, it will like blossom more into more stories. I like that the characters in that restaurant are not just like characters to like fill in. They will have their own stories. They have like their own profound backstory. I love the writing. I love the relationship and connections of each other, each characters to each other. I also cried at the end that concerns Grazina. I guess also that is why I love this book, because for some reason I guess everyone does. Like if there is like an old character who is by themselves alone, where no one like take care of them. I love especially how Grazina talked. And I love that Ocean Vuong was able to capture how old ladies talk. The last book that I read for July is Mary by Nat Cassidy. I think this is also his debut novel. This is about Mary, who is a middle-aged woman. She's 49, and if I remember it right, when she turned 49, every time she look at the mirror, her reflection starts like melting, distorting. And not just that, whenever she also like see other women who is of the same age as her, or like near her age, she also sees the same thing. In the beginning, they were searching for a serial killer. While I was reading it, I imagined it like how like the vibes of the cover. I thought it's kind of like early 2000s or like 90s, like crime serial killer movies starts, where they're like they found the victim in a tub, and the inspector, the detective, was like in the scene and then like looking at the scene, and they found the serial killer. The story will advance to her going back to her hometown as well, almost like the Jackal. Although she doesn't have a memory of her childhood, of her hometown, but I guess she was like trying to learn more about herself through her childhood, through her memory that she cannot understand. It was kind of like a wild read for me, or like a crazy read for me. There was like a serial killer, like kind of like body horror, and then there's going to be like ghost, there's going to be like cults, there are like this crazy like scribbling on a journal. I had some expectations, or I guess my expectations of from the plot was kind of like different from how it was, but I think it was able to like satisfy like my thoughts on it. Let's get to the books that I will be reading for the month of August. It's Good Material by Dolly Alderton. If you are familiar, yeah, with Everything I Know About Love, this is from the same author. I have already finished this. I will tell more about my video is taking too long already, so I will talk more about this book next month when I do an August review. Another book that I also read is Looking Glass Sound, because I love Widow's Bay so much. So much? Was it like too much? Because I love Widow's Bay. I look for shows that are of the same theme and more books. And on TikTok, they mentioned that if you love that one, then you should like try reading this. Next is I Am Malala, How One Girl Stood Up for Education and Changed the World. All I want to say with this book is that I liked it. Now, I am reading this one. It's called Play Nice by Rachel Harrison. The last book that I got from that same library is The Princess of 72nd Street by Elaine Craft. And I believe that this is also the last book that the author wrote. Then next is 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I know it's also on TikTok, but I always like gravitate towards it because of like the color scheme. But at the same time, a lot of people loved it. I hope that I will also love it. There are like books on TikTok that I did not like. Anyways, this is the last book in my TBR pile. It's the Run for the Hills by Kevin Wilson. He is also the same author of Nothing to See Here. So I think this is also a comedy. By the way, whenever I start the horror books, I always tell my husband that I'm going to read a horror book. Like, I'm always like, I guess, like warning him that I'm going to read a horror book, because it's my way of like telling him that I need you to be there in case I get scared. That is all. I hope that you understood my reviews. I hope that you understand my ramblings and I guess enjoyed listening to it. And at the same time, I hope that you will find more book recommendations from this video. I received a comment, a suggestion, a book recommendation from one of the comments, and I was going to, I think it was a fantasy one. I was going to, oh yeah, Archangel World at War by Henry Asconir. Asconir. I haven't read it yet. I haven't even bought it yet. It wasn't available on Libby. I haven't seen a physical copy in the libraries yet. But once I'm able to like buy an ebook, I will talk about it and add it in my TBR. But thank you to Gracie Wolf or Gracie, yeah, for recommending that book. I will definitely check it out. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.